Alright, so, Final Boss has made his return. Bad Blood. Yeah, I know Bad Blood was about a week ago. But, in that being said, now there's already kind of rumored that he might not be at WrestleMania. So, what is the plan here? Yeah, like what should they do? Should they do some? I was like, I don't think it's going to be anything at this Saudi Arabia event or nothing like that. I think that's way too quick or whatever like that. But do you try to do something else? Like, do you do Roman Reigns 3? I was like, did a video about that during WrestleMania season. That I was like, I think that should be sort of the route to go. Before we knew about New Bloodline and all this other type of stuff or whatever like that. And I still sort of think that you could do it that way and almost have a regular WrestleMania, if that makes any sense or whatever. We're over here ramping it up basically after this Friday night Smackdown. They went a lot faster of doing a lot of different things than I thought they would, but of course we thought they would crank it out once everybody got onto their new programming stations. But yeah, that basically they're already being like, yo, we need somebody else, and they're like, no yeet. I'm surprised. I was like, to me it really sounds like they're really trying to speed up to do War Games for Bloodline, just because already the first week that Jimmy comes back and Roman's there, basically is that's like, yo, we need to go get my brother or whatever. And I also like the fact that we're sort of at the spot where this is like movies where it's like there's still some plot holes and stuff, but we just don't kind of care anymore. We just kind of like gonna gloss over it a bit or whatnot, because I still think Jimmy saving Roman. I think that's fine or whatever. It's really the whole thing that we while we never still got any explanation of him being in the come back to the bloodline. I was like, of him still acknowledging, Roman, where it's kind of like, it's like he also did treat you a little bit like dirt before your brother took you out. But need a hero there. We also getting Codyrhodes and KO and Randy Orton and what that situation is going to be or whatever. I thought I was like, the KO thing on Cody is a little bit. I was like, it's been in the process, ever since he basically gave him that pity match or whatnot. But I thought that the reason I think they're speed running it is because after Bad Blood, he basically just was like having a conversation with Cody, and it started being Cody's ass. And don't get me wrong, I'm fine with his KO. It's just kind of just like, damn, we just get to immediately you just beating up him, and now he's over here beating up Randy like that quick. I was like, what? Hey, I can't say anything after we all have been complaining that Triple H be taking his time with all this stuff. So hey, you want to already just start jumping and beating people's ass? Go ahead. Well, who am I to say anything to it? I just think that it's like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing here. We're speeding all this up here. Yeah, and I was like, also, I was like, I'm sort of just talking about from Bad Blood to this Smackdown, basically, because been missing. But yeah, but I was like, but I also like whatever they're doing here. I didn't know what the premise of this crown jewel belt is going to be, and to be honest, I was like, I feel like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too of Survivor Series, both War Games and a traditional Survivor Series in a way, just because we're getting champion versus champion or Night of Champion. I was like, not Night of Champion, because I was like, they didn't fight these, they were just all defending the title. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, we're sort of getting both Survivor Series at the same time. I was like, the belt thing, I was like, do you wear it again afterwards, after that first week? Because we, is this going to be an annual thing? So does that mean we're going to have multiple people with this belt? Or is it a one-time belt? Does this belt get pushed over? It's like King of the Ring where you win it and that's just you, and you're just going to have a cemented person all the time. I was like, this is a one-time title, because I was like, they over here talking about this title like it got carrots and gold all up in it. And I'm just like, so you're going to be making multiple of these? How this goes? Anyway, too far in the future right now. Need to talk about the present. And no present right now, then I guess what's ever going on now with the whole women's thing, I was like, which I think is going to be, I was like, fun, just because you got Liv Nia, they're going to be going at each other. Raquel is thrown into it. Naomi just beat Niajax in that same sense, and then Rhea's involved in all this, and she just kicked the hell out of Nia. But you also got to remember too that before this draft, they were all, well, except for Naomi, they were all on Raw, and basically Rhea ran through. I was like, her and Raquel really didn't have a proper match. I was like, any to any, they're really proper to any proper matches. I was like, her and Nia just had the one blow off match in the Elimination Chamber. I was like, Liv has her beef with Niajax. So like everybody has beef with each other in a way that this is all, it's like a whole thing that I'm like, ooh, this could be cool and convoluted. Oh, also Tiffany Stratton's in there too with her Money in the Bank briefcase, which obviously we know that she's going to do it on Nia, which, would that turn Tiffany tweener in a sense or whatever? Or would they try to do it to give it to Liv? I mean, make Tiffany actually catch in on Liv, win. Now she has the title. Now what Rhea do? She still wants to take it. She still want to beat Liv's ass, but now Tiffany has it. You got to give her a proper thing. But I was like, cause I feel like Tiffany's going to win the championship. I was like, Tiffany, they're not going. That briefcase on Tiffany isn't the same way like Bron having the Intercontinental Championship where you can take it off and put it back on him. I was like, Tiffany's going to get the championship because you gotta make her into something, and we'll see how long does she have it. Does she go in the WrestleMania having it or whatever like that? I just think that you need to give Liv something to do and Rhea something to do where they can still get in each other's faces while also not overdo it. Because, at this point, it seems like Damian Priest is sort of done with Judgment Day right now. Judgment Day is sort of like done with him. But that Rhea thing after that Raquel botch or whatever like that, they played it off really well. But I was like, that was a botch, that bad blood. Could have been cool, but it didn't. And so I wondered they're going to make this all a tangled mess. But I was like, but then the thing is, then you don't have the Tiffany Nia dynamic anymore. So I don't know. I was like, I'm just over here probably I'm over here shooting things in the creative room, and I ain't hitting no targets. Bron versus Jey, I figured that was going to happen. I'm glad that it did, basically. But I feel like Bron is going to get that championship back for probably like a month or what. I was like, I want to say a month, because I was like, he still need to have the championship when he confronts Roman, so it could be like, yo, I got this without you, and then Roman would be like, I knew you were gonna always do it. That's why I named you main event Jeyuso or whatever. They're gonna do a whole thing with that. So I was like, Bron, I think Bron is going to get it back from Jey. But I want to know how long it's necessarily going to be. So I was like, Jey got him up right now. I was like, but you can't have Bron take it off of Jey until we sort of get that interaction with that title. So he needs it for a good length of time to me. Sami and Gunther, I was like, to me, Sami, I think, is the one that probably, like, until we figure out what they're going to do with the Seth, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre bit, and like I said, I got a video of that as well too. They went ahead and gave Sami his match on Raw. He lost. Of course, he should. But I was like, then these are sort of things that I don't like. It's the fact that we'll see if it comes back around, because it might. Is that, hey, they're 1-1 now. Let them have a third match. Because I still think, I still like the idea that Sami is Gunther's kryptonite. And I also like that you give the title to Sami right now, and then he just loses it. Because I think that he sort of fits a mold to me that I was like, he can be a person that has the title, but is also a transitional champion. So I was like, I do like the idea that, like, Gunther got him right now. Guess what? Gunther don't really have too many people that he has to fight for the championship or whatever. I know Bron and Gunther had like a little stare down, but I was like, that ain't going to happen for a real mean minute. So I was like, have Sami like come back around later on and be like, now we're tied 1-1. Do you not want to see who the better man is? And he'd be like, I won. I'm the better man. But it's like, he could say like, well, whatever. Sami didn't have a really valid reason really here either. I was like, I really would have liked that they would have did the number one contendership match or whatever. Sami won it, and then, or either that or some form of like maybe like a tag team match or something like that, where Sami like pin Gunther, but he beats Gunther's team, you know, Imperium, whatever. And he's just like, man, he's like, I just keep on beating you I was like beating you, and every time he's like, you never beat me, and he's like, but I did at WrestleMania though. They could have did it a lot better. That's all I'm saying. Now I know I just sound like I'm just sort of like spitballing random here. I also don't know what they're doing at all with. I mean, I guess because like the TV show is going, and I was like being 2 hours now, that they just was like, hey, you 5 women and you 5 women do got beef, let's all match up or whatever. I didn't really want Pure Fusion Collective, if you're going to do this, just let them beat their ass. Just let them be tough people right now, because in my head I'm like, I was like, while nobody's been doing Jade and Bianca type stuff or whatever, because, you know, Damage Control, I was like, and Unholy Union, even though they haven't, I was like, they've been up and down. I was like, they've been able to stay relatively solid of being in that spot of tag team matches. I was like, Pure Fusion Collective, I'm like, they need to formulate some wins so that they can just be here or whatever. And they, where you can see like, oh, they've been tearing it up. They might take those titles off Bianca and Jay. And it's like, right now they won't. And they're doing too much flippy floppy type of stuff. When the rest of them, except for Kate and Carter, they're no tag teams. Everybody else is really single stars in a way, or whatnot. So I was like, I'm not liking that. I do like the Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins things. I think this is way. It's really been really intriguing what we would have got for their setup to their match. And for when he was in Australia, when he fought to face him in Australia for the championship, just because we might have already had, maybe not this level of Bronson Reed, but we would have had a Bronson Reed that we already could see like, oh, okay, it's not shocking if he's in the championship title match, even though we know it's not believable. Whereas now, him being on the level of Seth Rollins, now it seems like whatever they do here, which I think they should do, what I think they should just sort of do like a series of matches. I don't think it should be a one-off or anything like that. I think it should just be like, hey, Bronson Reed is just going to be killing Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is going to be out here doing the same thing to Reed in a way where they just keep trading back and forth, almost in a Punk Drew-esque type of way, where they just get on each other's nerves and they just got to have a match to sell it out or whatever. And I think Bronson Reed should win that one. And then I was like, they didn't go back and forth, and I was like, Seth can win it in the end or whatever, because you got to put him back in a title match type of situation. But you want to also make it where I'm like, okay, hear me out. I know Braun Strowman won the monster thing, but I think what they should really do, Seth Rollins can always end up in a title match. So therefore, it doesn't make any sense for this. He doesn't have to win whatever the feud is going to be. But what you can do is set up Bronson Reed to face Gunther. Now, we have seen that. I think we've seen it once. Yeah, I think we've seen it once with Bronson Reed and Gunther. But this ain't the same Bronson Reed. So in saying that, we know that he's not going to beat Gunther for the belt. But that's what you can sell it as. You got to give Gunther somebody to face, and who to face is somebody to do that's been making a terror of everything. I was like, to me, you could say Strowman or whatever just win, but I just think that's too much. I don't know if just Strowman is at a Gunther level of facing him in a type of way where Bronson Reed is, especially after what we might get from Seth Rollins or whatever, and then we can see it from there. You just need Gunther to have something to do, because I was like, for right now, to be honest, I think both shows is going to be fine, but you're not going to have title challengers. Like I was like, Cody and KO might get it again, but Cody and I was like, I think they should. Okay. Brain blast. Listen to me now. KO does beat Cody. Yeah. Due to the final boss. Like this is my thing. Is the final boss got to be doing something. I was like, he has to be doing something, and I kind of actually sort of think that while he may have given Solo the Ulafala or something in that form, I don't think this bloodline is his bloodline. Now you can say like maybe everybody speculated Jacob Fatu is a sleeper agent in some sort. maybe so. But, and I don't think they necessarily would do this because it'd be too much. But if the final boss did some form of his own team, not necessarily bringing in his own like bloodline or nothing like that, but just being like of using the part of him being on like what is it, chief of staff or whatever it is or whatever. I don't forget what he is, the president or something. I was like not the president, but I was like something with the company or whatever. Him being that high level guy of just being like, oh, these are my guys. See how many people you done, made. I was like made mad. I got Kevin Owens. I was like he over here plucks his other like another person or whatever like that. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just trying to spitball things because I was like I said, who is going to be facing who as of right now? Because they're trying. I think they're trying to rev up to get things going so that when we get to like Royal Rumble, we pretty much have like a little bit idea of what we're doing for WrestleMania. So they're trying to like speed run it, but that is still a long time away to where it's like or what you need to do. That's why I think like the Crown Jewel thing is sort of just being like, yo, we don't have nobody for these two dudes to really fight right now. So how about they fight each other? And I don't know how they're going to also do that either, because Cody versus Gunther, I was like, you going to have Gunther get pinned versus Cody? You going to have Cody get pinned versus Gunther? The women's one is a little bit, to me, a lot more easier. I was like, you can have either one of them lose and they're fine. I was like, but they're over here being pristine with Cody and Gunther, and I'm like, you got two pristine champions, and I was like, wow, that's something that we would like. That's really cool. How do you do this? Are we gonna have Bloodline interfere in a Gunther match? Are we gonna get Gunther tied up in the Bloodline? I don't think so, but one can think about it. But yeah, no, I was like, anyway, that is sort of what's going on, I guess. Raw and SmackDown after Bloodline, or whatever right now. Just my ideas and thoughts, even though it sounds like a ramble. I was like, I am liking what each show is doing, though. I was like, I think that each show is now able to fire on cylinders. I do think that the LA Knight Carmelo and Andrade thing is just going to be kind of what it is. I was like, it's cool. I was like, yeah, but it's not something I'm like, ooh, yeah. I was like, Carmelo sort of like heated off in a way that I'm kind of like, or whatever. It'd be cool with him or Andrade at the championship, but at the same time, people don't really like get charged up about him. I don't know. Maybe it's the SmackDown feel of it. I don't know. Yeah, no. I was like, I wish they would have done something like I said, where they would give like some of these other people opportunity. Oh, and the New Day stuff. I was like, I don't think that either one of them should really turn heel. I really like what they're doing it with Xavier, where he's not a heel. He just over here just being like, I don't even think it's a sore loser thing. I just really think that he's at a level where he's like, yo, I'm not winning. I don't want to. I was like, I ain't got to shake nobody's hand. He's like, nah, if I'm not winning, I'm not, And I was like, yeah, that is sort of sore losers, where it's like, since you're not winning, you can't be happy, you can't do anything for other people, kind of stuff like that, or just like, hey, you lost, suck it up, get back to it. But he's more like, it's almost. I was like, see, it all just depends on who you are, because guess what? Something like this could also be like a Kobe thing, where it's like Kobe's like, nah, like if I ain't over here beating you, I ain't got no friend, I ain't doing any of that stuff. Like, nah, that's why he don't want to do the New Day, yes it is stuff. I was like, that's why he ain't really shaking Jay's hand, even though Jay's a boy or whatever. And also I wonder too, like Kobe's gonna face Bron, but I wonder if I was like how Xavier was gonna play into that. Is he gonna be? I was like, because I was like, they could do it where Bron eventually had the belt off Jey. Xavier Woods is now the one. See, the problem is you're gonna have Bron basically be like losing too much in that formulaic where it's like, oh, your opponent got one up on you. Now you got to learn to study, and now all of a sudden you could come back and win or whatever kind of thing, or whatnot. So I was like, I don't know how that is there, or whatever. But it's going to be intriguing to see where Xavier would go with this. I don't think New Day is going to break up. I do think that Big E is going to find himself involved in some form or whatever. I don't know if Big E is going to come back to wrestle. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's not something. I don't like, even though I don't know how long this is going to last. Like, can they milk it this far? But I do think he'll have like some Royal Rumble thing, just because Royal Rumble where anybody can show up, anything can happen. That I do think that if there was going to be a Big E type of comeback, or at least for like a night or whatever it is, it will be the Royal Rumble. That's the only way. You ain't gonna do that shit for Raw. You ain't gonna do that for. I was like, there's no Survivor Series match where that may even make sense. So I was like, Royal Rumble will be the only place it is. So we'll see how long that can prolong itself until then, or whatever. I was like, it'd be cool if basically Xavier Woods goes on this whole beating former champion kind of thing. Because there's enough former champions in some form of way that he can get his wins without beating Seth Rollins or CM Punk or Drew McIntyre or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I've probably done it long enough. Anyway, that's just sort of my thoughts on what's going on with wrestling at this moment and whatnot. I was like, I'll have like, you know, I was like, I'm gonna do a video on the whole Rock and that not his bloodline and whatever like that. That'll probably be a video of some sort or whatever like that. And we'll see how everything else goes after that. But anyway, let me know how y'all been enjoying wrestling. I was like, it's sort of been cool to catch up, being away from a while. But anyway, till then, peace. I'm out.